Well, would you look at that? I just got done with the recruiter video, which I made quick. So I thought, okay, I can make some dinner and then go and finish the build video for tomorrow. But they actually just dropped the Season 2.0 FAQ from the developers themselves on Twitter. So I haven't looked at this yet, so I figured we would do that together. So with that said, let's get into it. So I have the tweet right here. So got questions about Season 2.0. We compiled answers to all your burning questions in our latest FAQ article, including how seasonal characters will work alongside and enhance your main character. Read now. Before I go into it though, I'm just gonna take a guess. The seasonal character will be what you're gonna be playing most of the time. The main character will be during the intermission period, and also for the climax master difficulty, right? So let's see if I'm wrong or right. It's a 13-minute read, so I guess this is gonna be a longer video because I'm experiencing this for the first time too with you guys. So yeah, it might be a long one, this one. So we have Voni expansion, seasonal and non-seasonal characters, Manhunt 2.0, seasonal journey, PvP, multiplayer and matchmaking, and we're gonna go through it all. I might be reading some stuff a bit faster though, trying to save your time, or might cut out some boring stuff too, just to save your time, right? So yeah, let's go. Agents, we heard your concerns regarding the introduction of seasonal characters in the Division 2 with Season 2.0 later this year. We want to clarify how seasonal characters will impact your existing main characters and answer a few questions about Season 2.0. And I'm really interested how they are gonna sell you guys that don't like seasonal characters on seasonal characters. So let's see. The main idea behind Season 2.0 is to break away from the current repetitive seasonal model by transforming the entire experience. I like to hear that. With your main characters, we need to consider various progression and power levels, making it nearly impossible to create a well-balanced experience that is enjoyable for all. Starting all players at level 1 ensures that we have a clear understanding of where they are in their progression journey when faced with specific challenges. To put it simply, in order to craft challenges with precision, we need a fresh start. And I do actually believe that this makes a lot of sense. You take a lot of veteran players, or myself included. If you have played this game since the start or a long time, you're gonna have a crazy power level on your character. Like, your character these days in Division 2 can be so strong if you maxed it out that nothing in the game is really a challenge, right? And then they add new content to the main character, and they're gonna keep in mind that not everybody, if they wanna make this experience for new players good, right? And that's really hard when you have hardcore players or people that played for a long time with extremely min-max characters and new players without that, right? So I do kind of understand that. To reset everybody, it makes it easier for them to make content, right? Because you can clearly understand that they are trying to get new players to the game and they don't want to scare those away. However though, I understand that a lot of veteran players don't like this, that they're kind of shitting on you, but at least they're explaining why. Additionally, seasonal resets bring another layer of excitement since modifiers are phased out at the end of each season, giving us the freedom to impact gameplay far beyond what permanent mechanics would allow. So that sounds like the modifiers will be way bigger than what we know about, or the ones we have in global event and stuff like that, so that's good. Because I see the seasonal modifiers more like a long global event, basically, right? But they're gonna be more impactful. We omitted one important detail from the Year 6 introduction. With the revamped seasonal progression, you will have the opportunity to bring your main character into the last 2 weeks of each season, known as the intermission. Yeah? The intermission allows you to revisit your main character with new content and seasonal progression, using your current arsenal for experimentation, strategy, and dominance. At the start of the intermission, all rewards earned with the seasonal character, including SHD level, proficiency rank, stash items, and collectibles, will be transferred to your main character. This transfer ensures that your main character will be more powerful than ever and prepared to tackle the season climax, normal or master difficulty should you choose to experience the remainder of the season with your main agent. Get ready to see your favorites in a whole new way. So just as I said before, it seems to be exactly that. So you play seasonal character, do all this stuff, then when you're done, your main is only good in the intermission phase, which apparently is 2 weeks in the end of the season, right? And that's where you can play the climax mission, right? The Manhunt real mission, which have normal or master difficulty, right? So that's basically what your main is good for. So let's see if they say anything more. The seasonal character will be added to your roster, giving you the option to play the season climax mission with either the seasonal character or your preferred main character. So then you might as well do it on the seasonal character, right? Unless you're going for the master difficulty. But if you're going for normal or heroic, might as well do it on the seasonal one, right? For the master difficulty, depending on how they're doing it, it might be where you want to use your main. If it's really hard and challenging, which I'm expecting it to be. In Season 2.0, seasonal character progression is significantly sped up, allowing you to reach level 40 more quickly and gain SHD levels at a faster rate. So that's something we did know before, but they never said anything about SHD levels, so you gain SHD levels faster. So that is really good. Kind of was expecting that though. And if we read a bit earlier here, right, if we go back, they say that the SHD levels will come to your main. And if you gain them faster on the seasonal character, that might be a good way to get more SHD level on your main. If you would need that, right? So mainly, really good for new players. If you are a veteran and you grind it a lot, probably nothing really for you, right? Not much that it adds to you. Expertise upgrades will not be available for seasonal characters. Instead, the SHD watch bonuses will be increased to account for the missing power coming from expertise. Proficiency can still be earned by seasonal character and will be merged at the end of the season. Please note that proficiency alone does not impact the gameplay. Okay, so there's no expertise on seasonal characters, which do make sense. But let's keep going. Finally, as a seasonal character progress to level 40, they will not have to complete the entire campaign again. Instead, they will have the freedom to choose which content they experience without worrying about completing certain missions for specific unlocks. Okay, so you hit 40, then everything is just unlocked. Sounds good. I mean, this is like the least we expect from this, right? So no surprises. However, there's more to the upcoming changes than just transitioning to seasonal characters. We will share you with detailed information by hosting live Q&A session or PTS and during various live streams in the coming months to guide you through these changes. We also encourage you to explore our year 6 season 1 first row page, as it may answer some of your questions. I did make a video about that, so if you do want to watch that, just click it in the description, hopefully. But I hope there's more than this, which I think there is a little bit more. But I mean, reading this, I think nothing really changes from what we were expecting. I guess the only thing we really know now is that SHD levels will go from seasonal to main, and SHD levels are also leveling faster on the seasonal character. So if you need SHD levels, this is gonna be good for you. But other than that, I don't think much changes. They're basically kind of confirming that the main character is only good for the climax mission. So not much here for us veteran players. But let's see what this talk about the Vony expansion. Is Warlords of New York expansion now free for new players? The Vony DLC continues to be paid content. The key changes that came with the one endgame update is that owning Warlords is no longer a requirement to reach level 40 and access endgame content, such as gear, game modes, and Manhunts. What content remains locked behind the Vony expansion, and they say skills, story mission, and the New York map remain exclusive to the expansion. Playing legacy Manhunt missions won't grant access to skill variants for Repair Trap, Shrapnel Trap, or EMP Sticky. These skills are tied to specific bosses in Vony expansion, and player must unlock the skill platform in Vony to use them. The only difference is the climax mission, where defeating Feylaw and earning the Achilles Pole skill variant will be accessible regardless of Vony ownership, provided you already have the pulse unlocked in the main game. So I kind of like this, except that they're locking the skills behind Vony, right? So you're missing out of a lot of skills, like especially the EMP Sticky. Like that one is great. Shrapnel can go and fuck itself, right? But EMP Sticky, that's a good one. So I don't like that they are locking the skills there. The story missions and New York map would be enough, but hey, they need to get people to buy the game and get in money, right? So I mean, it makes sense. But still, will the New York map remain accessible for playing Legacy Manhunt? Players without ownership of Vony will not be able to access the Legacy Manhunt missions set in New York. If they attempt to fast travel to the climax location, they will receive an in-game notification. So you can't do anything in New York if you don't have Vony, basically. And we actually got some more questions when it comes to the seasonal and non-seasonal characters, so I'm hoping for some more answers and details here. Starting with the first one. Will we be given extra stash space and/or extra character slots? An additional character slot will be added to support Season 2.0 along with extra storage space. However, it is worth noting that no extra slots will be added for each individual season. So you have 4 characters right now. There will be one more slot that is for seasonal character, and it will always only be one slot. Do I need to delete a character when a new season starts when all my slots are occupied? I guess now we're getting the answer. As additional slots will not be provided for each season, you will need to choose which character to retain in your main roster. Starting with year 6, season 2, you can have up to 5 characters. For instance, in the beginning of year 6, season 2, if you already have 4 characters, you can utilize the additional slot to add a 5th character for the season. However, if you have 5 characters at the end of year 6, season 2, you will need to remove 1 character to make room for a new seasonal character. Yeah, so they basically just confirm that. What is the point of keeping your main character if you can't use them 90% of future content coming to the game? And now, this is a good question. Surprised they actually put it in there. Let's see what they will actually say. We have taken measures to ensure that both seasonal and non-seasonal characters have meaningful roles and cool things to do in the game. The current model reinforces the way a lot of players are using some characters as support for their main character at the account level. Seasonal characters serve a similar purpose, on top of facilitating an awesome experience in the season through manhunts and modifiers. Additionally, seasonal characters also contribute to overall account progression, which is represented through the power level of the main character. The main character remains the foundation of the account, enabling players to take on challenges at the highest power and difficult levels. Furthermore, upcoming DLCs will present a chance to take on challenges with your primary character and its corresponding power level. Additionally, only non-seasonal characters will have access to Legacy Manhunts. Okay, so yeah. Basically, main character, you will do the climax mission on master difficulty, is what I would assume, right? And then they are adding new content in the DLC that will be for the maxed main character. The issue still stands for the people that are following the lore and the season manhunt and the story, is that you need to create a seasonal character. So yeah, the issue that people have with this still stands, I would say, right? Because you're still not going to be using the main that much. And we will see what type of upcoming DLC content we get for the mains. So yeah, at least they have said we get some content for the main though. But I still think people still have an issue with being forced to play seasonal characters. That's the issue. Will there be any new content for main non-seasonal characters? Non-seasonal characters will continue to have access to all existing game content, including both Vony and the upcoming DLC. Right now, there are no intentions to introduce another incursion or raid, which I understand that would not really happen. I was hoping for a new incursion though, especially with the last one. I thought that one was really good. Maybe a little bit too easy, because it took world first 1 hour, right? So yeah, it was a really good incursion. So I would have loved to see more of that. Even though I personally prefer raids, I do think incursion makes more sense for the player base as a whole, right? So I would have loved to see them continuing with incursions. But sadly, they are not doing that. Just to put the resources into seasonal characters in the DLC, I guess, right? Will seasonal characters have access to their existing recalibration library? The recalibration library will be shared between seasonal and non-seasonal characters, the only exception being season-specific gear. During the season, you can transfer season-specific gear to the library, where they will become accessible to your main character at the beginning of the intermission. So I mean, this sounds pretty good. I think at least they're doing that part pretty nice, so we don't have to refarm that. Will seasonal characters be able to use the account-wide resources materials? I would think no. Seasonal characters will have their own separate pool of shared resources and materials, which will not be shared with non-seasonal character pool. So basically, the seasonal character is like you have a new account, right? You don't have access to stash, resources, or anything from your normal characters, which makes sense. When I have all my inventory and stash maxed out, will I lose the loot after the season ends and the seasonal character is merged with my regular roster? Interesting question. I think even though whatever they say here, we're probably gonna see a lot of bugs sadly coming. But let's see what they say. Once the season ends and the intermission begins, you will be awarded a temporary stash to facilitate the transition of seasonal items to the main pool. It is up to you to decide what to keep and what to discard or deconstruct during that process. However, please note that from starting from season 3, if you still have items in your temporary stash, you will be unable to create a new seasonal character. So that sounds good, right? But the question is with this though, how is the game gonna work? Like, is the game gonna become super laggy because now we have extra stash, right? Or like, yeah, I'm a little bit questioning that, right? Because they say that we can't have more stash and this is gonna have a bigger stash and all that. Like, will it screw up the game? Or yeah, what will happen? But at least it sounds good. But I think people are gonna be like, why can't we have a bigger stash, you know? Since we've been asking for that for years. But now it's happening though. How will my hardcore characters be impacted? At the start of each season, you will have the option to select either hardcore or regular seasonal character. This choice provides the opportunity to add an additional hardcore character to your roster at the end of season when the seasonal and main characters combine. Your existing hardcore character will retain its progression, which can be shared at the beginning of the intermission period, the final 2 weeks before the season concludes. I guess I don't really understand this one. So you still only have one seasonal character slot, right? So you can't have a seasonal hardcore character and a seasonal normal character, right? You have to make a choice there, which I kind of dislike. But it also says something with that you can have another hardcore character. I don't know. My brain needs overload. So please let me know, guys, what they actually mean, because I don't understand this. Will seasonal characters have access to global events? Global events, as they are right now, will remain exclusive to non-seasonal characters due to their incompatibility with the seasonal progression and modifiers in their current state. They will adhere to the established rotation model already present in the game. Seasonal characters may eventually receive their own version of global events tailored to enhance the seasonal experience, but this implementation will occur at a later time. Okay, so they keep global events, so if you do like those, you still have those on your main. So we have a little bit more about Manhunt 2.0 and then also seasonal journey, some more questions for that. So let's just keep going. Will the new master difficulty be in any way available for non-seasonal characters? They already kind of explained that, right? So yes, climax missions on master difficulty will be available for both seasonal and non-seasonal characters during the intermission part, right? So a 2-week period between the seasons. Why tie the Manhunt to the seasonal character participation? This is an interesting one. The real answer to this is probably to force you guys to play the seasonal character, right? So let's see what they say. In Season 2.0, the optimal way to experience the story is through the seasonal structure, utilizing a character with the appropriate power level to capitalize on features such as gameplay modifier and seasonal items. The story will be adjusted to accommodate this dynamic, with multiple agents fulfilling their roles throughout the season. Moreover, after the season ends, player can opt for the climax mission using their seasonal or primary character. So I guess nothing really new there. So that is about Manhunt, and I just spoiled a little bit. So now we're gonna go through seasonal journey. But after that, it's actually PvP, so seasonal character PvP, and hope they have something special for that, because I said it before, that's where this could actually be really good with seasonal characters, and that's PvP in Dark Zone, if they would actually put some effort into that, which I doubt they will. But seasonal journey. What will Season 2.0 consist of? There are 15 weeks of varied activities such as seasonal missions, seasonal projects, Manhunt scouts, and priority objectives to be completed with your seasonal character, followed by a 2-week intermission period during which you can utilize your main character. Your non-seasonal character can be accessed at any time during the season, but with no access to seasonal content except for the 2 weeks intermission. So nothing new there except seasonal missions, seasonal projects, I guess normal projects, right? Manhunt scouts and priority objectives. They're not really telling us that much, like the projects, probably just as normal projects we have now. Priority objectives, like what is even that? We don't know. So we know there's stuff, but we don't really know any specifics, which I guess we will get at a later point. Approximately how long is the accelerated grind to level 40 expected to take? I've been saying 10 hours, so let's see what they say. Non-seasonal characters will require approximately 45 hours to complete, while seasonal characters are expected to take around 15 hours for the same activities. So 15 hours, I think 10 hours could be doable then if you're really fast, right? So yeah, it's 3 times the speed, right? So that sounds kind of good, but I guess we will have to see. Will the seasonal grind to level 40 consist of the same current activities, or will it be different each season? To reach level 40, the seasonal journey will act as a guide, providing simple and quick challenges that offer great completion rewards, while also aiding the player through unlocking the key game systems. Additionally, at every point, players can complete a variety of other activities in the game at an increased progression rate. Each season will feature unique seasonal modifiers that affect both players and enemy NPCs, providing a different experience in previously played content. So it sounds like they are guiding you with how to get to 40 right, but you can also do whatever you want. I don't think they really said too much here, but it kind of is what I expected from before, or what I was saying before, right? And the fact that each season will have different modifiers, so it will play different, right? But let's keep going. Will the seasonal story beats be introduced during the level 1 to 40 grind, or will players need to reach level 40 to experience them? I don't know what story beats. Story, I guess. The updated seasonal journey in Year 6 Season 2 will allow all players the opportunity to experience the story irrespective of their level. In other words, new story content is no longer locked behind level 40 characters. This one is actually really good. I thought you would have to be level 40, okay. So this one is good, because you can probably just have a seasonal character. You don't really play it, you go in on the seasonal character, you do like the Manhunt scouts, because you don't have to be 40, so you can do it at level 1. And then you just do that. Then when the Manhunt mission opens, you just wait for the intermission, right? You go on your main and do it, right? So that at least sounds like you don't have to invest too much time, which I think a lot of people see as a really big downside, right? So that one sounds pretty good. Will players have to reach level 40 to start collecting season rewards? Seasonal rewards are not restricted to level 40. Various rewards unlocked through the seasonal journey, season pass, and other in-game systems are granted while leveling from 1 to 40. The Manhunt story will also gradually unfold through collectibles, allowing players to progress step by step. So that sounds also kind of good, that it's all not restricted to 40, but I'm pretty sure you still gotta have to get to 40 to get everything right. What happens with seasonal collectibles? During the intermission period, which occurs in the final 2 weeks before the end of the season, all the rewards obtained with the seasonal characters such as SHD level, proficiency rank, stash items, and collectibles will be transferred to your main character. So that's what we went through before, so that sounds good. Will we get access to SHD Watch? In Season 2.0, seasonal character progression is significantly sped up, allowing you to reach level 40 more quickly and gain SHD level at a faster rate. This progression will be shared with your main character at the end of the season. However, fast progression would only be possible up to a certain level upon reaching it. SHD Watch progression will resume at normal speed. So do we assume that it's really fast up to 1000 SHD? That sounds like a lot though. And then it slows down. Like I would assume maybe they reworked SHD for seasonal characters, right? But I would assume they want you to get all the stats from the watch, and then after that you will level slower, right? That would make sense. Easiest way to do that, just make it super fast to 1000, right? And then lower it down. And that means you're gonna get a shit ton of SHD for your main, which could be a good incentive for people to play seasonal characters, right? Why can't my existing level 40 character engage in the seasonal content? I can answer that because of balancing. The main objective of Season 2.0 is to ensure that all players can participate in endgame content on a level playing field, as well as allowing us to fine-tune the experience based on more controlled progression. Additionally, modifiers and season reset provide levers to ramp up gameplay challenge far beyond what any permanent mechanics would allow, thus avoiding long-term consequences. Yeah, kind of understandable. Like they are balancing it for the seasonal characters. Our mains are just too strong. Now we have PvP. I don't think we're gonna expect anything here, but maybe I'm wrong. How will the introduction of seasonal character affect the PvP? Seasonal characters will only be able to matchmake with other seasonal characters at the appropriate power level, accounting for the level playing field the seasonal reset brings. So yeah, if you queue PvP, you're gonna go against other seasonal characters, right? And it seems like it's gonna balance that as well. Will modifiers work both in PvE and PvP? Modifiers are PvE exclusive. It would kind of be refreshing if it worked in PvP, but we don't know the modifiers yet though. But maybe that's something they could take feedback from when we know. Will seasonal characters have a separate dark zone? Yes, dark zone pools are separate between seasonal and non-seasonal characters. And that was all they had for PvP. So, I mean, all of this PvP stuff made sense. Seasonal character only play with seasonal. Sadly, they are not doing any changes to dark zone. I mean, maybe they are, but they're not saying anything about that at least. I was hoping for that because I think that could have been so fun to have new fresh characters in Dark Zone and make Dark Zone loot actually be good, so you could go into Dark Zone and actually fight for loot when it actually matters, and there's actually a high risk, high reward then with a different meta before people get geared, right? Last but not least, multiplayer and matchmaking. How will matchmaking change with the introduction of seasonal characters? Seasonal characters will only be able to matchmake with other seasonal characters at an appropriate power level, accounting for the level playing field the seasonal reset brings. So that also makes sense, right? Seasonal characters play with seasonal characters. How do you plan to balance seasonal and non-seasonal instances? If all the gear aligns with seasonal theme, we may rebalance and revamp it. Any changes that are deemed appropriate will also be applied to non-seasonal gear. Our aim is to maintain a balance between seasonal modifier and seasonal gear. We encourage players to find powerful builds each season. Yeah. So yeah, that sounds pretty good. Overall, we didn't really get too much. I mean, we got more information, but the information that we was hoping to get, I guess, was not really there. I think not much changes from what we understood from the beginning, right? Like your main is gonna be kind of useless, right? It just got one job to do the master difficulty. I guess they did say that the DLC will have new content for that, but if you want to follow the story, you're gonna do a seasonal character. I think this video is extremely long right now, so I'm not gonna talk too much here, but please let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about these changes. And I will be live tomorrow at twitch.tv/widdz, and I will actually be playing Dark Zone the whole stream is the plan. So make sure you go follow me on Twitch and subscribe and hit the bell to be updated with the new YouTube videos, because I do have a build video coming tomorrow. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed and take care.